Hey, I'm sitting here doing a reaction. The title of the reaction is "The Man Who Exposed the Crips and Bloods and CIA Connection to Crack Cocaine." When I started it off, I said, man, they might mention two of my partners, Rick or Melvin. I'm about 5 minutes in and they just mentioned Rick Ross, man. What you got to say about the CIA and crack cocaine real quick? Just give me a couple seconds.
It was some fucked up shit that the government was willing to sacrifice the black community to raise money for a war in Nicaragua.
Like doing that puzzle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.
I ain't gonna lie, the Polk County Sheriff about Florida that caught my attention through the last few years. He got some comical clips that I didn't call myself being entertained by. I've enjoyed, even though I seen them colored kind of like unprofessional. Of course, a lot of them are extremely unprofessional, and then some of them, without being overtly or boldly, they're like subtly racist and stereotypical and things of that nature, condescending. But I've still enjoyed to laugh at him, kind of even appreciate his presence with his candor. But he done got himself caught up dealing with one of these To Catch a Predator types, a black dude. Now, I don't agree with the way everything the black dude did on the way he handled this interaction. However, it's hard to argue with. The bottom line that he somewhat exposed this Polk County sheriff for being somewhat of a piece of shit, if not totally a piece of shit. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with this guy too. He's a white guy. He's constantly doing press conferences, showing evidence and giving updates on what he's done to bust this. Him and his detectives or his officers have put a stop to this type of crime. They figured this out, and he's always pretty sarcastic and comical with his presentation. And he bumped into this big black guy that was on a Predator thing. And the dude did all his pretty much all the footwork to where it was time for the sheriff to just come in and do the heavy lifting, and it didn't go that way. Somehow the N-word was utilized. There was some controversy about that. I'll weigh in on that when we actually get to the point, but with no further ado, let's see what the sheriff, who seems to be protecting predatory police people, has been up to.
I had made a more lighthearted version of this video, but a couple of people in the comment section let me know what type of man Mr. Sheriff Grady Judd really is. And so now I'm gonna be going a lot harder in this one. It wasn't on my bingo card to be beefing with one of the largest police counties, Sheriff Grady Judd. You guys definitely have seen him before. Here's a popular clip of him.
I got their drip. I got their body. We got their guns. We got their dope.
But here we are today. So if you guys don't know what's going on, back in around early October, we had done what we usually do, done an investigation where we had caught a predator. And that predator admitted everything to the officers. But then when Sergeant Knapp came on scene, he decided to escalate the situation, resulting into a culmination of him just dropping the hard R.
But you're going about this whole thing wrong, dude.
Nigga, you just fucking told me when I was standing right here, you said,
call me a nigger now? No,
whoa!
Overreaction, brother. I love you to death, black man. But for you to introduce the N-word with the GA into this conversation and then to react and such when he hit you with the ER, you set yourself up for that. You have no grounds for any type of argument. It's just like if you just said motherfucker, they typically say motherfucker. And he was asking you, why did you call me that word? As much as you don't, if a white person that usually uses a hard ER said, man, I can't stand a black nigga, what's the difference between the ER and the GA at that point? So for this point, as a person that was out here on a very important mission to catch a predator, I don't think he should have allowed himself to get distracted by someone repeating him with the hard ER in this capacity. I think he overreacted, and I think kind of took away from the effectiveness of the rest of this interaction. But let's go. It's still my bro.
That's exactly what you just said.
I did not.
What he said is that you called him a nigga, and he repeated it. He said, are you calling?
You definitely did, bro. And then to go with the worst semantics between the A and the ER, we say motherfucker, they say motherfucker. I mean, just think about it, bro. You got a way more bigger fish to fry in this situation.
me a nigger.
Nigga. God.
What's the difference?
Now, we posted that segment on Instagram, TikTok, all the social medias, and it went completely viral. And then we just recently dropped the full context version here on YouTube. And out of all of this, when we first dropped it on social media, Mr. Grady Judd, he never wanted to reply. He never wanted to say anything. All they did was just turn off their comment section on all their videos. But now that we dropped the full context on YouTube, they finally decided to respond. And instead of responding on their social media page, where they literally post every single day doing morning briefings, they decided to just drop a random comment on my YouTube video and lie and claim that I deleted their previous comments of them trying to clear the air, which I never did. But luckily I saw this comment and we're gonna be making a video about it today. But before we continue, I want to talk about the man that Grady Judd is. There is a new case that's happening and coming out right now where a woman is suing not only the Polk County Sheriff's Office, but also the Polk County Sheriff, Grady Judd, because when she was a young girl, she was being victimized and abused by her stepfather. Now, the Polk County Investigation Unit did a lousy job investigating it, and they claimed that she made a false police report. No way. So they not only returned her to her abuser, but they also made her write an apology letter to said man. Now, with her being back with her abuser, of course, because these dudes never learn, the man continued abusing her. And it wasn't until she had to sadly get video documentation of the abuse, it wasn't until she turned that into Sheriff Grady Judd and the Polk County Sheriff's Office, it wasn't until then they finally charged the man, and he is now convicted for that abuse of her, and she is rightfully suing this police department.
That's crazy. I think he should be brought up on charges. That's extremely negligent, irresponsible, careless police work.
According to a federal lawsuit, her great-uncle and adoptive father, Henry Cadle, sexually abused her between the ages of 9 and 13. The first time Cadle reported the crime to the Polk County Sheriff's Office, she was not believed, instead charged with giving false information to a law enforcement officer.
Law enforcement, the whole goal is safety and protection. And in this case, it was the antithesis of that.
When she was assaulted again, Taylor Cadle took pictures and video, which led to Henry Cadle's arrest and conviction. Taylor Cadle's charges were dropped. Now she is suing members of the sheriff's office on several counts, including malicious prosecution and failure to train, supervise, and discipline.
I feel some sort of relief to...
Does her nose not appear to be the same exact color as her hoodie? My bad if it doesn't, my bad.
Fight for what I believe in and what I think is right.
In response to the lawsuit, a spokesperson for the Polk County Sheriff's Office called it frivolous, saying, quote, "In this case, our deputies did an extensive investigation and made deliberate and rational decisions based upon the information and evidence we had at the time." Now, that statement went on to say the Sheriff's Office looks forward to, quote, vigorously defending against these baseless and fabricated allegations. The two named deputies in the lawsuit are still employed at the Sheriff's Office as a detective and as a lieutenant.
You would give a public statement like that in regards to something that a 9 to 13-year-old female alleged victim of this type of abuse may have said? Oh yeah, he is cold, heartless, and as corny as he comes across now.
Josh?
Now, I say all that to turn it around to come to today, because we have an individual who invited a very, very young girl over to his house. And Mr. Grady Judd is doing the same thing he did in previous times. He has completely failed the community of Polk County, not holding his officers accountable, but also, and more grievously, letting a predator stay amongst the people of Polk County. Keep in mind, we posted the video of what Sergeant Knapp said all the way back in October 17th on social media, but there was no reply from the Polk County Sheriff's Office. I guess, the heat wasn't hot enough. So finally, when we dropped the full context video on YouTube, Grady Judd finally decided to reply. But instead of, condemning what his officer said and promising to bring this predator to justice, he decides to double down. In a statement he made on his personal YouTube channel, Sheriff Grady Judd says, "You hit the comment we posted."
I like to say, similar to Trump, Biden at times, maybe he's aged past this position, because the fact that he's even entertaining, responding to these issues on social media shows his focus is off. He's distracted. He should be so superior above this type of interaction. It's ridiculous. But the way he continues to carry himself on YouTube and social media at these press conferences kind of like preludes to us knowing he's going to enjoy this type of attention.
Telling the truth on your first inflammatory video. That video he's referring to is me posting what his sheriffs said on camera. And the funny thing about it is, I would tell them, hey, if you want to put out there, what your officer said, drop the body cam footage. But for one of the biggest police agencies in America, for some reason, they do not have body cameras. And, obviously, when you catch them on
that's that deep down, dirty, don't give about a near south. So they kick you in your ass. They want to be able to say anything out their mouth. So it ain't no body cameras. You better have that stamina. Oh, my mama. God,
video saying stuff like this. Since they don't have body cameras, they know they're safe. But they thought I was just a lowly YouTuber with only 12 subscribers.
Here, I'm gonna record. I'm gonna go live.
12 followers?
12 million.
Do you know who our sheriff is?
Do I know who your sheriff is? And do you know how bad you guys are gonna look for not doing anything about a child predator?
He got a social media sheriff. He know that. So he's like, oh, well, my followers, do you know who my sheriff is? Because my sheriff is popping on social media. Your sheriff is distracted, buddy. Facts.
You're recording video right now.
But now that they're figuring out that we have 12 million total subscribers, they're changing their tune a whole lot. As long as you're getting the attention and money you're seeking, that's what matters to you. No, Mr. Grady Judd, what matters to me is you guys doing a thorough investigation and actually charging a predator. But since your guys' track record is horrendous and you guys would rather people write an apology letter and then actually turn in the video of them being abused, I guess we don't meet the criteria for this being a crime in your jurisdiction. But I just find it hilarious that you're over here saying that I'm over here craving the attention and money when you're the same man who gets on social media at your old age over here just gloating and just reveling in the attention that you're getting.
You see, we got you gold. We put your tail in the county jail.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
I ain't gonna lie. That's one of the clips I've been accustomed to laughing to. Forgive me, black people, because he's a piece of shit. Oh, my mama.
You think about that, brothers.
Under Sheriff Judd's direction, our agency has put more predators away in the last year than most law enforcement agencies do in 10 years. Well, bravo, Mr. Judd, bravo. I am very happy that your agency is able to put away so many predators. I mean, it's not like you guys literally turned away a grieving girl that was trying to report her own stepfather abusing her. You turned her away and she had to get further abused and then obtain video evidence for you to then prosecute said man. I mean, you guys are doing a great job. You guys are doing such a great job that the predator that we caught is still out at large within the community. So I guess, you want to keep the same formula you did for that last case, and you got to wait for him to actually do something to a little girl and get some video. Oh, and she also has to get video documentation of it. Then you're gonna, do something about it and prosecute him. Are you gonna make that?
I'm with you, bro. I'm riding with you. I think this would have been far more effective if you'd have left that whole N-word reaction out of it. When you said nigga, what you need to take out of your vocabulary, especially when you're dealing with non-melanated individuals. Because if you're going to overreact to a response that's obviously on the table, like you did, then that's going to like dilute your whole message and your whole point and your whole effectiveness. So if I were you, my brother, I would just take the N-word because everything else sounded so mainstream, middle American, professional, concerned about the actual issue. As soon as you called him a nigga, you sounded less intelligent, you sounded less mature. Your whole mission was less respectable. I'm just letting you know from the outside looking in, and a former real nigga. Now I say Nia, trying to get that out of here, but a real black man to another. Oh, my mama.
That girl write an apology letter as well if she doesn't have video documentation, Mr. Grady Judd? I'm just asking. We work with Chris Hansen as well because he understands the law and how to do this the proper way and not the vigilante way. Wow, man, you work with Chris Hansen. Okay, you know what? I gotta just delete this video, delete my YouTube channel, because he works with the Chris Hansen. You know what? I'm gonna spoil the whole facade around Chris Hansen, right? Now, before I do that, I do want to give props on one thing. We wouldn't be doing what we do if it wasn't for Chris Hansen. You know, he pioneered all of this. But the thing that's different with Chris Hansen and us is Chris Hansen, he is a glorified Make-A-Wish kid. And what I mean by that is the police departments literally put in all the work. They get all of the evidence. They get all the guys set up and everything. And literally all Chris Hansen does is on the day of the shoot, he puts his makeup on, comes out and hits his catchphrase, "Why don't you have a seat for me?" Boom, bada boom, collects his check and go home. There is no operation that the Polk County Sheriff Office has ever done that would not have been successful if Chris Hansen hadn't been there. You cannot sit up here and lie to the people like that. He is just there for the ride, for the publicity, for you guys, and for himself. Now, granted, he is doing a great thing blasting these dudes all over, you know, national TV and everything. I'm not going to condemn him on that. But the fact that you guys are out here lying to the people saying that Chris Hansen knows how to follow the law when all he's doing is just tagging along with you guys is literally like doing a freaking buddy cop ride. That's literally all they're doing. We're putting in all the legwork, so all a detective has to do is sit down for 3 hours max, watch the video footage, read the chat logs, boom, bada boom, case closed. But you guys had this case all the way since October, beginning of October, yet we are in the month of November, and Mr. James Siegel has not been criminally charged yet. Grady Judd, what do I have to do to get you guys to charge this man with talking to a child? Do I have to write an apology letter to him?
He's obviously connected to them in a way they don't want to expose. That's somebody people, and he might know something about them. Oh, my mama.
Is that what you want, Mr. Grady Judd? And you guys say that you guys only do it the proper way, not the vigilante way. But one of my good friends and someone that I work a lot with, Mr. Alex Rosen, he isn't a part of law enforcement, but yet he has an arrest in your guys' county. So make it make sense. Why does he have an arrest in your guys' county? He's not in law enforcement, quote unquote, he's a vigilante, but you guys are gonna charge his pred, but you guys don't wanna charge mine. Well, make it make sense. Are you guys picking and choosing who you wanna charge when they're talking to kids? Guy literally admitted on scene that yes, that was him talking to that kid, but you still haven't put out a warrant for his arrest. You guys still haven't done any apology or address the elephant in the room of what your guys' officers are saying, but yet you can just drop a comment on my YouTube channel saying that I'm dropping inflammatory comments and inflammatory videos. Grady Judd, you are the biggest fraud I have ever come across. And sadly, I don't respect you as a man at all. And I don't think the people of Polk County should respect you either. I mean, obviously you don't care about your officers dropping the hard R. I mean, right after the officer sergeant.
Yeah, once again, I just want to say, bro, you didn't have to, you could have just let that go. We never had a hard R debate. It's the N-word debate. And this is moving the goalposts by making it about the hard ER. And we know when the hard ER is out of place and inappropriate. But when you engage in that type of conversation, because guess what? You were not talking to a GA. That was not a nigga. But you classified him as such, addressed him as such, and you know that is not the way he appears. I mean, he views himself or the way they address one another in that type of community. So you know, or should have known, that you were sparking all type of potential reactions to addressing him as such in such a tense moment at that, knowing you're in the South of America.
App dropped a hard R. He got a promotion the next day. Wait, my bad. That's the wrong photo. This one. And for legal reasons, that's a joke. So, Mr. Judd, because I'm not going to call you sheriff, because a sheriff wouldn't act the way you are, I put the ball in your court. Since you love the camera, come onto my platform. We will do a live discussion addressing everything that you have against me and everything that I have against you. And the people can see for themselves. And if you think I'm so up and high and mighty and only doing this for views and everything, expose me for the fraud that I am live. This is going to be the biggest platform you'll ever have. So if you're man enough, take the offer. And if you're also a real sheriff, prosecute this predator that is actively still in your community. And I'm not even say reprimand or do any disciplinary actions to Sergeant Knapp. Just address it. And if you don't address it, I would just have to assume that you're okay with it. I mean, you guys don't have body cameras, so seems about right.
Shout out to my bro to suggest that this would be the biggest platform that sheriff potentially may or may not ever have. His delusions of grandeur. Is the potential, the platform that we see him speak from on a consistent basis may or may not be as large as your platform. And we know, just being a sheriff of a town like that, that he has access to, depending on what case at any given moment, he will have access to TMZ, CNN, and the likes thereof. However, I don't believe he's going to accept your challenge. But by chance, if he does, leave the N-word issue out of debate, man. Trust me, it's not going to serve you any. You're going to make yourself look more foolish. But outside of that, you got a good point with everything. Protect the babies at all costs.
Let me tell you, you don't have the skills, son, to fuck with us down here. Let me just be blunt. You don't have that skill, okay? So play all fucking day long, because we got all night, all right? I promise you that. You don't have the skill to fuck with us down here.
I don't have a job, so I'll be here all day.
That's right. And how about your 12 grand that you put in the bank, or was put in the bank? Guess who's got it?
All right.
We do.
Do you even know about that?
I don't know. Tell me.
I don't think he does.
I don't think you do either.
It wasn't that personal. Big shout out to SPR, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.